There are undoubtedly some big differences between the last installment of Civilization on consoles, Civilization Revolution, and the current one, Civilization 6. But what are some of the biggest differences in my opinion, and how do they change the game? Today we are gonna talk about that. Hopefully you will find this video at least interesting, and maybe some of you who have yet to properly dive into the game, maybe you got it at Christmas, will find it useful, but please let me know your thoughts down in the comments after the video. I'm not going to talk too much about Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm. I feel like if I bring them in, this video would be super complicated, but we will touch on them in places. So if you're going to enjoy this video today, please do remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out, and let's dive into the first point. The first thing we are going to talk about today is resources, these being both strategic and luxury resources. So Civilization Revolution actually did have resources if I think back, it's just that they didn't do too much apart from boosting your yield from a specific tile. I mean, they were nice, but they weren't necessary as such. Civilization 6 on the other hand, strategic and luxury resources are necessary. You need strategic resources to build certain units. For example, if you don't have iron, you cannot build swordsmen, and you need luxury resources to keep your people happy. For some reason, your people have become really needy. They need lots of nice things like coffee and other stuff. So yeah, resources are far more important in Civilization 6, and you have to prioritize getting them. We all know what diplomacy was like in Civilization Revolution. A civilization often less technologically developed than you would come at you demanding things, probably Gandhi waving his stick about, demanding you gave him a technology that he should already have. And when you refused or refused to pay him gold, he would then declare war on you. Yes, Civilization Revolution had the most aggressive AI I have ever seen in a game. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Fortunately, the AI in Civilization 6 is a little bit more relaxed and predictable, but the diplomacy itself is actually quite a lot more complicated. You're gonna have to make trade deals, you're gonna have to trade resources, and make friendships, make enemies, and things like that. So it is far more complicated, especially when you get into Gathering Storm. Another thing I'd mention is that to declare war you tend to need a casus belli, especially as the eras progress, so no more kind of rolling up to the borders and just declaring war anymore. You actually tend to need a justification, otherwise you'll find yourself in trouble with the rest of the world. If this complex diplomacy goes wrong, you're probably going to need to learn the new battle mechanics, which are quite different to Civilization Revolution. In Civilization Revolution, every battle had a winner, and every battle had a death. Like if your unit lost a battle, that's it, they're dead. Battling in Civilization 6 is far more based on attrition. You know, your archers will fire on another unit, but it won't necessarily kill them, it will just wear them down. Another thing you need to be aware of with the battle mechanics is siege battles. Sieging cities is a lot more complicated in this game. You're gonna need things like battering rams if the city has walls, so just bear that in mind. Civilization 6 has far more complicated battle mechanics. One final thing to say on the battle mechanics is that in Civilization Revolution you could stack a number of units on one tile. In Civilization 6 you just can't, it's one unit per tile, although you can attach siege units there as well, but on the whole it's one unit per tile. One of the biggest changes in Civilization 6 in my opinion, not just to Civilization Revolution but also to pretty much all previous Civilization games, is that not everything is now built in your city. In Civilization Revolution, every single thing, every single building is built in your city centre. In Civilization 6, so much of your buildings and sources of key elements such as science, culture and finance are built outside of the city in districts. However, it's not just building the districts you have to worry about, it's where to build the districts you have to worry about as well. Different terrain and adjacency bonuses can boost your yield of science in a campus, for example, or gold in a commercial hub. If you want more science, you need to build your campus next to mountains, and if you want more money, you need to build your commercial hub next to a river and things like that. You do have to think about your placement as well. Also, if you can get certain districts getting adjacency bonuses from each other, basically being next to each other, if you can get one district with 2 either side, you'll get even more bonuses. So you do have to consider your placement and actually plan from the early game. Another thing I want to briefly touch on is the importance of unique units and buildings. Yes, Civilization Revolution had unique units. My favourite one, I think, was like something like the Impi Warrior from the Zulus. That was a really fun unit to use early on. But in Civilization 6, these things are just far more important. The games last longer, which means that your unique unit is in the game for longer, and it's also more powerful, really. You know, if you're playing as Rome, you have to make use of those legions and things like that if you want to be successful. Now I actually think about it, Civilization Revolution did have government types. Like, if you wanted to boost your science, you could be a democracy, or if you wanted to have some fun and spam cities out early on, you could be a republic. But this has changed quite a lot in Civilization 6. Players coming from Civilization Revolution to Civilization 6 are probably going to notice quite early on that there is suddenly policies to choose from and policy slots which you have to put cards in. So there are 4 policy types. There are military policies, economic policies, diplomatic policies, and wildcard policies, which means you can obviously put any card type in that one. So what kind of things can you actually get from putting policies in? So for example, some military policies allow you to build units quicker, economic ones can help you boost housing and give your people more amenities, and diplomatic ones can help your relations with city-states, and obviously the wildcard ones you can put great people stuff in there, or literally anything you fancy. But basically these policies are going to help you numb your weaknesses, they're going to help you make your country stronger. So different government types have different makeups in what policies they will allow you to put in. For example, one government type might have a lot of military policy slots, whereas another one might have a lot of economic policy slots. Depending on what you're planning on doing and where you need strengthening, depends on which one of those you should probably think about. They also all have their own benefits as well, but as you jump into the game you can read up on them. As you progress down the civics tree, which is another major addition by the way, you unlock more powerful government types which can hold more policies, and obviously you get more modern and powerful policies to put in those governments as well. So as I said, Civilization 6 has major expansion packs. We've just not really covered them too much in this video, but that in itself is a major difference from Civilization Revolution, which never really had any major expansions. I think there were some map packs and stuff like that, but there was nothing on the scale that we've seen from Civilization 6. So yeah, we've also got on Civilization 6, we have Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm. These two are absolutely major expansions. They don't just add some more civilizations, but they actually change some fundamental mechanics of the game and add a ton. So if you do kind of play the base game and decide you want more, it's a really good idea to have a look at these and decide maybe you want to buy them. They're not super cheap, but they're also not super expensive for what they are. I guess the overall point to make about Civilization Revolution to Civilization 6 is that Civilization 6 is just not as streamlined as an experience. It's more complex, there's more to do, there's more to manage. Now, although you could just jump straight into a small game on Civilization 6 of literally 1v1 on a small map, such is the customizability in Civilization 6, it's just different, there's so much more complex. Wow, so first of all, why would you play the game on such a small scale? Because frankly, I believe it'd be absolutely pointless unless you're doing some sort of strange experiment. And even then, everything from the game mechanics to the tech tree to the implementation of the civics tree still makes Civilization 6 a more complex experience. There's just more to do. Civilization Revolution for me was the perfect entry point into the Civilization series due to its relative simplicity, and I'm sure everybody that has played Civ Rev and enjoyed it appreciates its simplicity and how it just allowed you to jump into a game of Civ and not spend 45 hours on it or something stupid. It was just a nice experience. Civilization 6 is bigger, it's more complicated, but for me, it is better because, you know, there's more to do. Once you get your head around it, it's just better. I mean, nothing will ever properly replace Civilization Revolution, but Civilization 6 is a very good experience, and if you're willing to learn more, it's definitely worth diving into. So there are some of the biggest differences between Civilization Revolution and Civilization 6 in my opinion, but I'm sure plenty of you have made that jump recently or in the past yourself, so let me know what you think are some of the biggest differences too. I mean, I absolutely love Civ Rev. I mean, it was stupid, it was aggressive, but it was just brilliant. If you want to see more videos like this, please do remember to hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, leave your comments down in the comment section below. I'm really interested to see what you think. And yeah, go and follow us on Twitter and bug me over there for video ideas. I'd love that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video soon.